Okay, think about this. What is the key to understanding, well, everything from ancient conflicts to today's cyber battles was actually hidden in how hackers operate? Today, we're doing a deep dive into this really groundbreaking study. It looks at human and AI computer hacking, not just as, a tech issue, but almost like a window into human nature itself. It's fascinating.
It really is. And what's so intriguing here is how this analysis uses AI to kind of deconstruct hacking. It's not just seeing it as a technical problem, but more like a microcosm, right? Reflecting these deeper patterns of human conflict, cooperation, even how our rules and norms change over time. It's like holding up a really powerful magnifying glass to ourselves.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull out the most important nuggets from this study. We want to help you understand who really benefits, who's the victim in this whole digital arms race, and how it shines a light on human nature and where we might be heading. And this is where it gets, really compelling. This deep dive isn't just about hacking mechanics. It's about using AI to reveal some profound things about human behavior. The study has a specific term for this, doesn't it? Something about the science.
It does, yeah. They call it the science of the science, and it represents quite a fundamental shift in how we actually get knowledge about human behavior. This research points to AI models, like the Centaur model, for instance, which were trained on these huge data sets. We're talking over 160 psychology experiments. And this gives them this incredible ability to predict human behavior with, pretty remarkable accuracy. It's not just crunching numbers, it's AI finding these really complex patterns, these causal links, that honestly are often too subtle for our own minds to pick up easily.
Right. So human-computer hacking kind of becomes this unique focal point. A way to explore these bigger themes: human tension, conflict, how power and loss get distributed in our tech-heavy world. It's like a digital mirror showing us our own tendencies. Okay, let's get into the heart of it then. This AI arms race in cybersecurity. AI seems to have this massive dual-role defender and, attacker too.
Definitely. AI as a defender, that has a pretty long history in cybersecurity. It started with things like basic antivirus, but it's evolved massively. Now it's using sophisticated machine learning to spot hackers. Today, its uses are incredibly diverse, really impactful. You can think of AI as maybe our digital immune system. Its key strength: it can spot tiny anomalies in enormous streams of data network traffic, how users behave, flagging an attack almost instantly. That speed is crucial. It fundamentally changes how fast we detect and respond, giving us a critical edge. And it speeds up threat intelligence, automates finding bugs, vulnerability management, and analyzes malware behavior in real time.
So it's not just these big abstract systems working in the background. Does the study show how AI actually impacts our everyday security? Like tangibly?
Oh, absolutely. For example, AI makes user authentication stronger. It analyzes things like your typing rhythm or how you move your mouse, just to double check it's really you. It's also really good at gathering and sifting through huge amounts of data from the dark web, social media, open source intelligence. And NLP, natural language processing, which is a key AI component, is great at pulling useful threat info from just plain text, like news articles or forums.
Okay.
And in ethical hacking, the good guy hacking AI is a massive help. It automates attack simulations to find those zero-day vulnerabilities.
Those are the ones nobody knows about yet.
All right.
The really dangerous ones.
Exactly. The flaws hackers exploit before there's even a patch, AI helps find those. It can also predict likely attack paths and even power these AI-driven phishing simulators. They tailor emails, track clicks, all to test security awareness. You see tools like Deep Export, Snort AI out there doing this kind of work. So fundamentally, AI handles the routine, time-consuming stuff. This frees up the human analysts to focus on the really tricky investigations, the strategic thinking. It augments the human workforce. It doesn't just replace it.
It's clear AI is a powerful defender then. But like any powerful tech, there's always the flip side, right? The other side of the coin.
Yeah.
How is that same power being used by attackers?
Well, it's exactly those same advancements. The things that make AI a great defender also make it a potent weapon for attackers. Malicious actors are now using machine learning algorithms to create really targeted, very efficient attacks. They automate processes to maximize the damage and minimize getting caught.
So what does that look like in practice?
Things like generating much more convincing, personalized phishing emails, or cracking passwords way faster by analyzing patterns in password data. They can even automate creating brand new malware variants specifically designed to slip past current defenses. And, maybe most chillingly, AI can simulate social engineering attacks using deep fake technology, fake video or audio, and AI chatbots that seem totally real.
Wow.
Yeah. So this obviously forces the defenders to develop equally advanced AI defenses. It creates this constant AI arms race, always pushing the boundaries.
It's almost, dystopian, imagining AI deepfakes making phishing attacks that are basically indistinguishable from reality. It really makes you stop and think, how do we trust anything online anymore?
Yeah.
So for us, the average user is caught in the middle of this race. What does the study say are the biggest benefits, but also the really profound risks?
Well, the benefits of defensive AI are pretty clear: faster detection, better threat management, generally stronger security for everyone. But the risks, they're significant and they're complex. One huge concern is bias in the AI algorithms. This bias can creep in from the data used to train the AI, leading to unintended consequences, maybe even discrimination.
How so?
Well, if the training data isn't diverse, the AI might not work as well for certain groups, or it might make unfair assumptions. There's also a big risk that ethical hacking tools, the ones designed for defense, get repurposed by criminals.
Right, turned against us.
Exactly. And then there's the black box problem. Some AI models are so complex we can't actually see how they make decisions. They're opaque, hard to audit, hard to trust. Plus, the AI systems themselves might accidentally introduce new security holes. And looking at the bigger picture, the militarization of AI, especially in cyber warfare, that carries really severe risks for global security. The potential for uncontrolled escalation is, frankly, terrifying.
So it's AI versus AI.
The study suggests the future of cybersecurity is largely going to be an AI on AI battle, Human involvement will shift, moving away from direct digital combat towards more strategic oversight, setting ethical guidelines, making policy, which just highlights, again, why we urgently need robust ethical frameworks and international cooperation on this.
It's easy to get totally lost in the technology side of things, but like the study emphasizes, at the core of every cyber attack, there's a human. Let's talk about that human element.
Right, and the psychology of cybercrime is surprisingly, human. It's not just about technical skill. Motivations vary. Often it's financial gain, sure, and the study mentions the average ransomware demand for individuals hit, $1,077?
Yes, quite specific.
But it's also about stealing intellectual property, customer data, payment info. Sometimes it's ideology or, honestly, the thrill of the challenge, outsmarting systems, getting recognition within their community. Personality-wise, you often see traits like a taste for risk-taking, really sharp problem-solving skills, but maybe combined with an indifference to ethical lines. And that distance, the physical and digital separation in online crime, it seems to create a psychological disconnect, maybe making it easier to justify actions or feel less accountable.
And that statistic you mentioned earlier, 68% of data breaches involving the human element, that's staggering. It makes me wonder, if we're so often the weak link, how does AI interact with that? Does it help us or just make us easier targets?
That statistic is key, and AI's role here is, maybe paradoxically, to amplify those human vulnerabilities. AI can now simulate social engineering attacks, phishing, pretexting with incredible sophistication, using deepfakes, realistic chatbots, all to test and exploit our security awareness.
So it can basically craft the perfect scam for each person.
Potentially, yes. AI models can analyze human behavior to spot patterns that indicate vulnerability to phishing, for example. The study really stresses this asymmetry. AI can not only exploit our psychological weaknesses more effectively, it can predict them. Humans become much more vulnerable when AI has that kind of power. This means we absolutely need AI-driven countermeasures, but focus on the psychology, plus much better education for everyone. That whole predator or prey dynamic gets way sharper when AI can tailor attacks based on individual psychological profiles.
Okay, so it's not just individuals acting alone. You mentioned communities, networks, even this blurry line with the security industry itself. That sounds like the sociology of hacking.
Exactly. Hackers, or illicit computer intruders, as the study sometimes calls them, often operate within these quite intricate social groups. These groups provide expertise, support, training, knowledge sharing. It's this collective structure that enables really complex intrusions and keeps it going as this never-ending thread. And even though they're adversaries, there's this sort of fluid, dynamic boundary between the hacking community and the cybersecurity industry. They're constantly reacting to each other, adapting. It implies a kind of sociological arms race, mirroring the technological one we talked about.
So in this really complex, constantly shifting picture, who actually benefits? Who are the victims? And who ultimately are the biggest losers here?
Right, well, the beneficiaries. Obviously, malicious hackers gain, whether it's money, data, IP, or achieving some ideological goal. But here's the paradox. The rising threat level, amplified by AI, also benefits cybersecurity pros and companies. It means more job security, often high salaries, and a booming market for AI-powered defenses and services.
A strange kind of ecosystem.
It is. Now, the victims are widespread. Individuals often get hit hardest. They usually lack the resources to recover easily, face financial loss, identity theft, significant psychological stress, corporations, organizations. They face huge financial hits from ransomware, DOS attacks, phishing, plus major reputational damage. And governments are targets too, obviously, with serious national security implications.
The biggest losers.
Often it's those least able to cope with the impact. So individuals, again, disproportionately, also organizations that haven't invested enough in security. But really, society as a whole loses. Trust gets eroded, essential services get disrupted, and there's always the potential for larger scale conflict. What the study really hammers home is this systemic vulnerability. The weakest links in the chain bear the heaviest burden. It highlights a critical issue of societal equity, something any vision of a beneficial AI future must tackle.
We've talked about psychology, sociology, but what about the bigger rules we live by? The study makes this fascinating connection between, ancient laws, even traffic rules, and this evolving cyber landscape. Why is understanding rules so important here?
It's fundamental, really. The study traces how our need for rules, our concepts of justice and social contracts have developed over centuries. From medieval philosophy mixing theology and Roman law through natural law theory, the Enlightenment's focus on reason and rights. Ultimately, laws come from our shared values, our morals. They're meant to ensure safety, protect rights, promote equality. And it's this basic framework, why we make rules, why we break them, that's playing out now in the digital world, especially with AI entering the picture.
And this study goes even deeper, right, into evolutionary psychology, the biology behind cooperation. It's really trying to get at the root of what makes us tick.
It really is. It talks about human norms as these evolved psychological mechanisms. Conditional decision rules, I think is the term used. They're designed to solve fundamental problems of social interaction, like the conditional cooperation norm. It helps explain why we cooperate even with people we're not related to, which is obviously key for society. The implication is that AI, if it's going to understand and interact with our systems effectively, needs to account for both our explicit laws and these deep-seated, often implicit behavioral patterns.
But okay, if we understand why we have rules, we also need to understand why we break them and why conflict happens.
Exactly. And sociology offers different lenses here. Strain theory, for instance, suggests rule-breaking happens when people can't achieve society's goals through legitimate means. Conflict theory might argue laws favor the powerful, leading marginalized groups to resist. Then there's aggression, conflict. These are universal human traits influenced by biology genes, hormones like oxytocin, but also heavily shaped by society, culture, learning, competition for resources.
And intergroup conflict, like between hacker groups or even nations online.
Yeah, that often stems from competition for resources, status, different beliefs. It can escalate through prejudice, discrimination, violence, often made worse by dehumanizing the other side. The study even touches on cultural elimination or culture-side trying to erase another group's culture. But here's a crucial point connecting back to AI. The study highlights this powerful feedback loop. Existing inequalities in society lead to biased data. That biased data trains AI systems. Those biased AI systems then reinforce stereotypes and potentially worsen intergroup tensions. It becomes a vicious cycle.
Wow. So biased AI could actually make societal divisions worse?
Potentially, yes. Which is why rigorously checking for and mitigating bias in AI systems isn't just a technical task, it's a social necessity if we want to avoid deepening those divides.
Stepping back a bit, this deep dive also looks at how AI is transforming human development more broadly, offering amazing benefits, but also some pretty significant risks.
The benefits are really quite stunning across different sectors. Take healthcare. AI is revolutionizing diagnostics. Studies show AI detecting certain cancers with 90–95% accuracy, sometimes better than experienced radiologists. It can cut pathology errors by 25–30%. Places like the Mayo Clinic have AI systems predicting cancer treatment responses with 85% accuracy, or predicting patient deterioration hours in advance. That's life-saving stuff.
Truly incredible. And what about in education?
Education sees huge potential too. AI allows for truly personalized learning paths, adapting content to how each student learns best. It can automate admin tasks like grading, freeing up teachers. It can boost engagement with things like gamification or intelligent tutoring systems. Plus, it provides data-driven insights for teachers and schools. And it's a massive help for students with diverse needs, think speech-to-text for the hearing impaired or reading aids for dyslexia.
Okay, healthcare, education, what else? Finance, government.
Yep.
In finance, AI means more speed and efficiency, faster loan approvals, quicker trades. It's much better at fraud detection, saving firms significant amounts of money. It enables personalized customer service through virtual advisors and cuts costs using chatbots for routine queries. For government services, AI helps analyze data for better decision-making, detects fraud in benefit systems, manages traffic smartly, even assists with predictive policing, though that's controversial.
Yeah.
It also helps with citizen support via chatbots, policy analysis using NLP, automating admin, cybersecurity, and even disaster management.
This idea of democratizing high-quality services sounds amazing. But it begs the question, what are the hidden costs? What are the downsides?
And that's the critical counterpoint. The risks to human development are substantial and need careful attention. Job displacement is probably the most talked about. AI is causing a seismic shift. There are serious warnings, like the idea of recursive self-improvement, AI improving its own code, potentially making many programming jobs obsolete very quickly, maybe within a year.
That's a scary thought for a lot of people. It is. Although the study also notes that jobs needing adaptability, human judgment, continuous learning like information security analysts, ironically, seem more resilient. Then you have major privacy and security concerns. AI relies on massive data sets. How is that data collected, used, stored? Erasing data, especially from large language models, is incredibly difficult, which challenges regulations like the right to erasure.
So your data might be out there forever, essentially.
It's a real challenge. Plus, concerns about data being repurposed, maybe for surveillance or tracking. And deepfakes, the potential for deception, identity theft, reputational damage is huge. And AI systems themselves can be hacked, introducing new vulnerabilities.
And bias again.
And bias in AI algorithms remains a critical risk. It can come from skewed data, cultural assumptions baked into the data, or lack of human oversight. We see examples like facial recognition working poorly for certain ethnicities, or AI generating biased content, or search results having a strong Western bias. This can amplify harmful stereotypes, exclude groups, damage trust, lead to flawed decisions. Think of Amazon's recruitment tool that preferred men, or the Compass system in the U.S. showing racial bias in risk assessments for offenders.
So the risks are evolving fast.
The study basically concludes these risks are accelerating faster than our ability to regulate them, which makes ethical considerations and strong governance absolutely fundamental. They're not just optional extras.
So how do we build AI responsibly then? The study really emphasizes that embedding ethics in governance isn't just nice to have, it's a necessity.
It's absolutely essential, and there are key principles emerging. Transparency and explainability are crucial. AI models shouldn't be black boxes. We need to understand how they reach decisions, especially important ones. Fairness and non-discrimination are vital. AI systems have to work equitably for everyone. That means using diverse training data, constant testing to read out bias. Accountability is key too. There need to be clear human owners responsible for AI outcomes, monitoring performance, stepping in when things go wrong.
And privacy.
Privacy and data protection require strict rules, secure storage, using only the data that's necessary, building privacy in from the start, and crucially, human oversight. We need humans in the loop to catch errors, provide context, and ensure AI augments our judgment, not replaces it entirely, especially in high-stakes situations.
Are there practical steps being taken?
Yes, things like requiring ethics impact statements before deploying AI, promoting concepts like data dignity, giving individuals more control over their data. Interestingly, AI itself might help foster more ethical human leadership by identifying our own biases or informing diversity initiatives. And we are seeing frameworks emerge: the EU AI Act, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework in the US, the OECD AI Principles. These are all trying to build guardrails. The message is clear. AI's future success is tied directly to its ethical development.
Okay, looking towards the future, the study paints this picture of an ideal human-AI symbiosis. It talks about fostering a healthy, educated, and good child and achieving a balanced universe. Let's unpack that.
Right. Regarding child development, AI does offer potential benefits. It can save time on tasks, maybe enhance creativity, personalize learning with tools like voice typing or getting feedback on writing drafts. But the absolute key, the study stresses, is teaching children how to use AI responsibly and ethically from the start.
But there's a bit of a paradox mentioned, isn't there? AI is great at logic, but human intelligence involves emotions, instincts, things like love. Things AI doesn't really get.
Exactly, and that points to the need for holistic development. The study suggests the ideal early childhood environment focuses on connecting different parts of the brain, the logical mind, the experiential or body mind, and the intuitive or spiritual mind. This means really emphasizing creative activities, art, dance, music, even things like cursive writing, gardening, caring for animals, plus lots of cooperative social play. These things develop the emotional intelligence AI lacks.
So maybe hold off on screen time and AI tutors for toddlers.
Some perspectives lean that way, yeah. Prioritize building those foundational human skills first, allowing the brain to integrate properly. Then AI can come in later to augment those uniquely human capabilities, rather than trying to replace essential developmental stages.
And what about this idea of a balanced universe?
Yeah.
How does AI help with leadership or our connection to nature?
Well, for leadership, AI could actually help us identify better leaders. It can objectively assess soft skills, things like economic decision-making, emotional perception, fluid intelligence, potentially better than human raters, because it removes subjective bias.
Interesting. So AI could help promote fairer leadership selection.
It could inform succession planning to boost diversity, equity, and inclusion, yes. And regarding nature, the study links back to concepts like the law of nature and ecological systems theory, basically, acknowledging that human development is deeply connected to our environment. Think climate change, resource depletion. AI can make practical contributions here. Smarter urban planning, more efficient disaster response, optimizing how we use resources. This all aligns with that vision of a balanced universe and achieving sustainability.
So AI can help us overcome some of our own biases or short-sightedness.
That's the hope. By providing objective analysis and helping us see complex systems more clearly, AI could lead to more effective, equitable governance and maybe help us build a truly balanced relationship with the planet.
Wow, what an incredibly broad and deep journey we've taken today. We started with hacking, but saw how it acts as this amazing lens on, well, us human nature, our societies, and now our relationship with AI. We looked at AI as both defender and attacker, the crucial human element in cybercrime, how our rules evolve, and AI's huge impact, both good and bad, on human development.
It really underscores that our relationship with AI is one of co-evolution, doesn't it? That vision the study talks about, the healthy, educated, and good child, the balanced universe, it all really hinges on us. On our ability to guide AI's development thoughtfully, ethically, strategically, making sure it remains a tool that helps humanity flourish rather than something that amplifies our worst tendencies or erodes our core values.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder. As AI keeps learning, keeps evolving at this mind-boggling speed, how might our very definition of human intelligence need to change? And what unique human qualities, creativity, empathy, wisdom, perhaps, will become truly indispensable in a world increasingly shaped by algorithms? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this gave you a powerful shortcut to being well-informed on this complex topic and maybe sparked even more curiosity.
This is DigitView.